Welcome to season 8, episode 4 of the Will Reads. Woo, yeah.
He almost forgot what podcast he was on.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, like that one. Yeah. Tonight I am drinking aqua with some water. I'll get to that why in personal life.
There's some water in this too.
Yeah, there's some water in that. But but before that, a couple announcements. It's not as busy as it was last week. So we got through Water Fortune. If you haven't checked it out, go watch it. It's on the YouTube. We also did Cosmere Reads last night. We'll be back to every Sunday night going forward. We just moved it for Mother's Day. So next Sunday, we'll be back again with the Cosmere Reads, so more Cosmere stuff. And then sometimes
every Mother's Day for the next 20 years.
Because those books are still. Yeah. I'm about halfway through Tress and the Emerald Sea, a new Cosmere book. I'm trying to get the secret projects going. Are you trying to freeze on purpose, Ian?
Yeah.
You can see your eyes move.
Because you froze for a minute, so.
Yeah. Oh, I froze for a minute.
It was a quick freeze.
Okay, cool. I'm wearing our merch tonight, so some Team Pater represent. Yeah, so go check it out. Our links are on our website, thewillreads.com, and you can find links to merch, so you can go buy your
Worst
own.
dark friend ever.
Yeah, it glows under this.
Or best.
It's like super bright. Anyway, yeah, so check out the Cosmere Reads if you're into Cosmere stuff. We'll do the Will Reads does Cosmere. Once we finish the next section soon.
Oh my God, where are you at, Ian?
Halfway through chapter 59, but I'm accelerating. Like I really didn't even want to stop listening to do this podcast.
Me neither. I'm in
69.
the zone.
Yeah. Oh, giggity.
Yeah.
Well, you can linger there for a little while.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It gets so good.
Yeah, Justice.
So
good.
I just started Justice.
Okay.
But let me tell you, Ian, it only gets better. Like
I can feel it. I'm getting going.
Oh yeah.
Like I looked at the titles, and I know we're not on the real weird Cosmere or whatever, but anyway, I read the titles for the next group, and I'm like, all right, so they split it this go around because stuff was so intense. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's intense, that's for sure. So we'll record that sometime soon. It'll probably be next week that we record that, but that'll be announced in our Discord and on the Twitters everywhere when we decide what day we're doing that. And yeah, that's it for my announcements. On to personal life. The reason why I am drinking water tonight is because my throat's a little itchy and a little scratchy, and I think I might be getting sick, and I think it's because I've been drinking way too much. Because I've drank like heavily every night for the last like 5 days. Because I mean, like, so Friday night, Will, my co-host for the Cosmere Reads, came in town, so I went over to his dad's house because he's staying with his dad, because he lives up in Maryland and Baltimore area. And we drank a lot of Crown and had a good time just hanging out, chatting, him and his wife. And then Saturday, I just drank because it's Saturday. And then Monday was Mother's Day.
No excuse for Saturday, but Saturday.
And then Sunday was Mother's Day, and my wife decided we'd go down with all of our the other moms of kids that we all hang out with and the families to the local beach in actually Ian's mom's neighborhood, in my parents' neighborhood, Riverside Beach. And I got down there, and as soon as I sat down, one of the other dads in the group, like, he pulled out a cooler and he's like, margarita? And I was like, yes, please.
This is perfect.
Started drinking those and then drank a few. So Sunday, and then last night I drank because it was podcast record. I was like, you know what? I need to dry out.
You got to check your stuff every now and then.
I need to try out. It's not COVID. It's not COVID. I know it's not like those days where every night.
Every now and then you got to take a day or two and like figure out what's real and what's not.
Yeah, and I hope I'm not getting sick either. I mean, I know you can probably hear my voice maybe a little bit, but it's a little scratchy.
Yeah.
But I'm not full blood sick. And my kids all just got over being sick, so I might have something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
your voice is still great for radio. I mean, you're doing fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Oh, Chris, you've been replaced. Wow.
My glasses steamed up.
I know. Looking foggy over here.
Only when I'm sick can I do this.
Chris says, I'm on chapter 9. Alan's like, that's my favorite chapter.
Well, that's it for me. Yeah, we had a good time over the weekend. Did a lot of work around the garden and just working on some furniture pieces that I'm fixing up. Painted a lot.
I feel useless. Such a busy weekend. Ian, how was your weekend?
So what did we do? Pretty chill. This someone in the family had like a very minor surgery, so the rest of us, we all just kind of made it a point to have a very chill, relaxed weekend as they were recovering, but we still had a great time. The weather was good. I got the grass cut, so Meredith and Natalie spent a lot of time out in the backyard because the weather was just perfect on Sunday. Chilled outside a bit, and man, what else? Playing some Fortnite. Finally figured out that you could drop on Darth Vader and get his saber.
And
And
you also get Kelsier skin. Mistborn.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so I don't buy skins, so if you can't like earn it or unlock it by playing, then
I don't know if you can earn it or not.
Yeah, I've never put money into Fortnite. I refuse. I play as default like 99.9% of the time, but I'm default like level 150 with like a bazillion crown victories. It's nuts. So, anyways, that's it. Pretty chill. Tomorrow I got court again. Last time was for visitation custody stuff. There was essentially no change, but it's still a very miserable experience. And then we have the child support adjustment, which I filed for like 2 years ago, and we're finally going to court for it tomorrow. So,
good Lord,
we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Okay.
So just try to stay stress-free about that. I mean, it can't be worse than what it is now. I'm not going to say dollar amounts, but I made poor decisions very early on because I was like, oh, if I'm just nice and give her what she wants, then maybe she'll be nice too. And then that didn't work out. I just gave her everything and then still got effed over because I was dumb. Anyways, we're fixing that now. So
it costs 1,600 V-Bucks. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, me neither. I refuse to buy stuff.
Cool.
Won't do it. If you want to buy it for me, sure, but I will not. Yeah.
Okay.
Solid.
Okay.
So, first the question: since I'm not a podcaster on the Cosmere Reads, can I apply to win books? Can I enter the contest?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we were done with that one, but yes, I would assume so. I mean, I haven't really thought about it, honestly. I mean, Will won a book early on, but that was way before I started the Cosmere.
Yeah, so it doesn't count.
He won a book random. I mean, just actually won. Like it was just randomized. Yeah. And I was like, I kind of wanted to pick someone else because I know him, but I was like,
but how would it look? How would it look if we won stuff on there? Is that gonna? I feel like the core group of our followers would not. They should know Alan would not go out of his way to hook us up.
Correct. First and foremost, it would be the luck of the dice for real.
Yeah,
he would even think about. He would think about it for days before he actually announced it. Like maybe they would never know.
Should I hit the randomize button one more time?
I'm never gonna try. Don't worry about it. Sorry, guys. It was a stupid.
No. I mean, I don't see why not. It is random. I go to random.org and I just type in the amount of people that qualify you. So if it's like, retweet this to get it, I'll type in. So say 100 people retweet it. I just
Iris says we already know it's rigged.
Pick a number between 1 and 100. Click go, and it hits a number and it counted out, and that's who wins. Just random.org. That's
all
right.
I forgot to like you guys last night, but I will go back and like it. It was a really good show, by the way. So me this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, super busy. So my friend Alan Hinton graduated with Alan and I's friend Alan Hinton graduated with his second master's. You met Alan Hinton at the wedding.
Yeah, but, I was gonna say that name sounds so familiar.
He was my other best man. He was the one that gave the speech about my ex at my wedding.
But it still went over just fine.
It did. There were a lot of question marks. Like, wait, what? He was engaged before?
No.
Because half of her over half her family didn't know that. 3/4 of her family.
Hey, but now it's
Well, now they do.
now it's out there. It's no longer a lingering question. You don't have to fear it. Boom,
Nope.
it's out
Oh,
there.
I never did.
Mhm.
Anyway, so we threw him a little party Friday night, and then Saturday I worked in the morning, and then we did chores midday, and then we went to dinner for his mom and sister for Mother's Day that night because she's like mother. And then Sunday we spent the entire day celebrating my mother-in-law, or mother-in-law as they like to call it. So I went to their church, went to grandma's church, and then went and just ate lunch with mom and took her to make a terrarium and just did all sorts of fun things and got home at like midnight. And then, last night I got to listen to a little bit of the Cosme Reads as I fell asleep. So
Nice.
bravo.
Yeah, I sent you and a bunch of people on Discord the GIF. Say hi to your mother for me. I was trying to find the Jason Sandberg one where he plays Mark Wahlberg on SNL, like acts like him, but like talking to animals. Like, yo, you're a dog. Nice talking to you. Say hello to your mother for me. Hey, look, it's a parrot.
All right.
All right. Yeah, nice talking to you. Say hello to your mother for me.
Happy Mother's Day. I'm just glad you didn't mail anything to my mom. So
Oh, it's still coming.
Oh, Lord.
She said,
oh.
You think the red rod's only in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
He stole it back. It's going to send it again.
That would be devious.
I'd laugh.
You could put it on a wine holder, and then when she went in to get the wine.
Yeah.
Does your mom drink? I don't think I know that for sure.
Mine? Oh, yeah.
I've gotten drunk with Ian's mom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
With Ian. And yeah.
I need to do that next time. Yeah. But say that you need to rephrase that with Ian and his mom.
Yeah, with Ian and his mom. Yeah. I don't think I ever have minus Ian. Now that I think about it. Even with Jared in town.
I've been there, and you and my mom have drank more than I have.
Oh, yeah.
But I've still been there.
Yeah.
And had some drinks.
I've been drunk at the beach, and your mom's also at the beach drunk.
Right. From 2 sandcastles down, they just do the air toast like
exactly. Yep. Anyways, so yeah, not much else in this world. So we're actually really early getting on to the chapters. You guys ready?
We didn't waste a half hour, 45 minutes talking about nonsense.
Yeah, we didn't. We kind of jumped right to it. This is fine.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So we'll confuse everyone that fast forwards to the first 20 minutes and like, they're
going to have to rewind a little bit. They're like, oh, wait, we're into it already.
Anyway, so chapter 6, Threads. Yeah, so they're on the run. We start with Elaine. They're running the Ken's farm, trying to get out as fast as possible. Like the Shanshan are coming. We got to get out of here. If we're not out of here fast enough, we're all going to be collared by the end of the day, by sunset. Like, there's no way we can stop this army, like, capturing us. Like, we got to run. And they're trying to, I guess, get enough control or at least enough familiarity with the area so they can create a gateway and go to Andor. And there's a little argument about that as well. Like, some of them didn't want to go to Andor. And Lane's like, no, that's where we're going.
That's where we're going.
It's about to go down.
Like, I like to say, by the way, I think it's hilarious that Avienda was having a hard time running.
Yeah.
At first I thought Elaine's been... well, she's wearing a dress. That's the excuse. She's wearing a dress.
Everything we know about Aiel, especially Aiel women, do you think a dress will slow them down? No. I mean, but being with child might.
It might. I don't know. Rand's mother was an absolute beast while giving birth.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't think we can disqualify an Aiel woman because of a baby, but a dress on the other hand, a dress
with no pockets might fuck you up.
Yeah.
If it has pockets, she's good. But no pockets.
Pants. It's just glorified pants.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
And so splitting this thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll see if anything comes of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, they're moving quickly. They get to a meadow. Anything from this first whole scene? I mean, before we get to like the opening of the gateway and going through and.
I love how glorified she felt for taking charge.
Yeah.
I think that was really the first time that she outright gave a direct command to everyone, and everyone hopped to it instantly. Mind you, there's literally like beasts in the sky coming at them, and there was real fear behind it, but she herself did not back down. So I'm gonna give Elaine her, little 2 snaps here. Just tell her how much we appreciate her for, taking control ish, because we know that didn't last long, but it at least happened.
Yeah.
So.
That was going to be the same thing I pointed out, just the conversation about leadership in general. This is something I've thought about towards the end of the last episode and right off the bat starting here. It's interesting, we're all old enough. So like you've done group projects as a kid and everybody work at your table and different leaders form kind of naturally here and there. But as you move on in life, like there's people that are good leaders in certain situations, but when the stakes get a little bit higher, certain people bail out and can't handle it. And then there's some people, it's funny, there's some people that you would never peg them to be kind of a natural leader, but in the high stakes situation, they right off the bat, they take charge sort of thing. Anyways, all that to say, we're in a chaotic situation. Everybody's life's in danger. There's only a few people that probably truly understand how much danger they're all in. But remember what we were talking about last episode, Chris, we still have these different groups of women that, yes, they're kind of working together, but they're not really together. And this leadership structure isn't solidified. Everybody's questioning who's in charge.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, huge, that she just took the reins and initially people were, following, wanting to. In those situations, 99.9% of the people are desperate for someone to tell them what to do. That 0.1% that's willing to take charge and, just give orders, that is huge. But like you said, we're about to run into my fear was that there would be either a battle for who's in charge or we run back into some overlapping.
Right. In panic situations, someone has to take charge, and it doesn't necessarily mean the person that's always the highest rank. And I do want to bring up a scene from The Way of Kings that Chris has read and Ian hasn't, but now I can't bring it up.
Oh my God. When I tell you, it fits 100% perfectly for this.
Does Cal win the entire bet? All right, don't tell me.
Yeah, I can say
tell me.
But it's
oh, man.
There's a scene where
I feel like I'm close.
Sure.
Yes.
Interesting.
Sure.
Sure has never felt so good, Chris. I'm so excited. Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, but Elaine takes control, and she's also the linchpin here. She has a connection to all these different groups, whether it's a short-term connection or not. She's spent more time. Her and Nynaeve have spent more time with each of these groups individually than anyone else in the groups separately. So,
speaking connections, I don't know that we made the connection or that we really even chatted over it much. Haha, Iris, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, Ian. Anyway, I'm sorry. Like, I'm more excited about Way of the Kings right now.
I'm getting.
But then again, the next chapter is the bomb. But in this book, so we can rush through this one. But anyway, I do want to point out or want to beg the question of: did Brigitte have powers in her other lives that she was stripped of when she was pulled out of Tel Riyadh?
I don't think so.
Because I know when the horn was blown, she had special capabilities. Because she
referenced that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my bow is of the ordinary sort. So it got me wondering, like, have we ever really addressed whether or not she had any form of special powers in past lives that she doesn't have now?
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I'll be honest, I just don't remember.
That's a good
I mean,
question.
she had silver bow in previous lives, and I don't know if it ever talks about whether it's
well, doesn't she specifically say here that not that she is lacking power, that
her bow is of the ordinary.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, where's the bow?
Yeah.
And is it the bow that made her special?
Does she find? Yeah, is the bow that's special? Is it her that's special? And if so, where's
or
the
like
bow?
you said, is it just okay when she came out when the horn was blown? Maybe that's when she was special.
Okay, so I knew this. I was just more about the bow,
right? And I think I felt that too. It wasn't her, but the question is it a bow thing or is it when she came out with the horn.
Like a hair mark blades are power rot blades. I mean, they're made with the one power. That's
right. Is it something like that? Maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
My camera literally doesn't tilt any more than what it is.
Yeah.
Like it
is what it is.
Yeah, I have like one of those cheap cameras. Like so, and now I've messed it up even worse.
Now Chris is not on screen
That's
anymore.
the top of his head. You could
I'm
stand
sorry,
up for the
I
episode.
literally have like a $12 camera. So this is what we shit. Yeah,
we just
I have
love to see your
my
beautiful
whole
face,
computer
Chris.
screen to get it, and then I back away from it. That if I back away too much, though, then I'm away from the mic. So you typically get a lot of this. And
this is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get.
Play
it's
with
fine.
it.
It's fine. You tried. So next the group moves quickly into this open meadow, and they form a gateway to a manor house that the Truckin family owns, Elaine's family owns, and the sea folk, the kin, the Aes Sedai just pour through. Elaine's picked one of the more isolated estates just to be safe, on the safe side.
You had a timeout. What was the timeout about?
Oh, the timeout. Good. So we jumped over. We mentioned it briefly, but didn't really get into it. As they're running down the hill, and wasn't it Nynaeve that was trying to tumble? What's that?
Who takes a tumble?
Mm-hmm. No, isn't this the part where Nynaeve runs into one of the Aes Sedai and is about to start barking orders about what to do? And the Aes Sedai is like, "Oh, we already. Oh yeah, I knew what was gonna. I heard the commotion. I kind of figured, so I already gave everybody a task to do."
Yeah, it was Elise, right?
Yeah, Elise.
Right.
Elise is like, "Don't worry, honey. It's okay. It's taken care of.
We got things.
Honey, we got this." She literally took over the entire show.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, and
but it was effective.
Hinted at that. Yes, effective. But so this is another situation where I'm like, okay, is this one of those moves where she's slowly trying to assert her authority and power, or was she really trying to be helpful? Now it was helpful. Don't get me wrong.
So to be fair to you,
helpful. But was
to be fair to you, I don't think she ever thought she didn't have power.
Well, yeah. Yes,
I really do. In this scenario, it kind of shows that she's really just pacifying the crew.
Right. I'll let those girls be in charge when it suits me.
As long as there's no problems, as long as there's nothing going down.
Right. But I'm really in charge. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. That's how I feel about
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't want to skip over that.
Yeah.
Because it may be significant.
Sure. So where they are in Andor is about 2 weeks outside of Camelin, and Elaine's wondering about whether when she gets back, if she's gonna be able to take the Lion Throne, whether there's already been someone that's tried to claim it. She's worried about all these different things, because obviously she's coming back. It's not a big deal, dude.
I know, I'm just being funny now.
But yeah, so all these different thoughts running through her head as far as the Lion Throne succession. There you go. Any thoughts about Elaine's worries? Do you think it's going to be all ready for her and no problems at all? Or
what's up with Jordan finally taking us places we want to go? And then one of the characters goes, "Oh, but let's drop in on the outskirts of town so there's time for shit to hit the fan before we actually get to where we're going."
Well, no,
I know he's trying to write books here and all, but wouldn't this be the perfect opportunity for them to blast right in the middle of Camelin and her be like, "I'm back,"
and kill people in the process?
It
was up to slice people in half.
At most, like 1 or 2 people.
Ian, think about it. She had in her mind, her mom's dead. She has no idea what Rand has set up because she really hasn't had a conversation with him. He has not been forthcoming with his his intentions.
Yeah.
So literally she thinks she's walking into an Andor that has had months to prepare for a new king or queen.
Yeah.
And because they always have queens in Andor.
She has an idea of what he wants. He sent Matt to bring her back so that she could sit on the throne. And she waved him off like, I'll get to that eventually.
But she's not going to Rand. She's going to Andor.
Which she should assume that Rand is there.
No, he wasn't there the last time they talked.
Yeah, he was in Kyrian last time.
Yeah. So she thinks she's walking into what could potentially become a shitstorm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm an Elaine fan. This
It was
go around.
smart. Okay.
You know, she has her reasons.
Right. And they're good reasons. I shouldn't poo-poo it.
Yeah.
But every now and then, come on, talking about Fortnite. Sometimes I play around where we're like, we get the DMRs, we get the sniper rifles and the ARs, and we ease into fights, and we lay our shots from a distance. But every now and then we switch to shotguns and lightsabers, and we just sprint in, jump in, drop in right in the middle of it, and just slap people around like
Rand did.
Point
what
blank.
happened? What happened when Rand did that?
It was entertaining from a reader's perspective.
I feel like there was an alarm that went off. That was
Yep. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So after everyone passes through the gateway, one problem still remains. They're worried that someone might have the talent to read the residues and follow them. One of the Damane might. So and if any of them discovered how to travel, that could be disastrous because that defeats the whole point of them getting away. So Elaine takes it on herself. She saw Avienda do it, so it can't be that hard, right? So let's go ahead and start trying to pick apart the gateway.
Yeah.
If I could tell you, so my mom would tell you, and Alan's probably heard this, like I kind of have a knack for fixing things, but it wasn't always that way. Like I like to work on cars, I like puzzles, I like putting things together. But I got good at it because as a child, I was horrible about, I would just take things apart.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom walked in the room. My dad had just got off a deployment, had this brand new stereo set, which in the 80s, remember their giant floor speakers, and then like multiple stacked decks of your tape deck, your, on top, you got for the record deck, player, you got all this, you got everything, right?
Yeah.
I took it all apart. Buttons are laying on the floor, pieces are laying everywhere. And my mom, who normally in a situation like that, I think would just grab that wooden spoon, she just froze because she knew she couldn't fix it. And she was like, your dad is home in 2 hours. That it better be put back together. And she said it in such a serious tone, like all of our lives were in danger. Like I felt it. And they might have been, I don't know. But I managed to put it back together. Anyways.
Yeah.
Big tangent to say that if just because you see somebody do something one time, don't be so arrogant to think, well, they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
I watched somebody do a timing belt on their car, and I was like, well, shit, I got to do it on mine too. Let me go over there and do it. Let me tell you how much I messed my car up. I had to call help from all sorts of people to get that thing fixed.
Yeah, usually if you're not an expert in something, you try to do something that you see someone else do that is an expert on it. It doesn't end well. I mean, the story see, he knows my dad, and I'll tell a little story on my dad. 'Cause my dad, I was obviously not alive because my dad was in middle school, but they used to go and hunt small game with bows and arrows. And they would hunt rabbits and stuff like that in the woods. And he had a friend, and being in middle school, they take the laces off their shoes and try to make them like moccasins, like Native Americans and stuff like that. But they kept on, his friend's moccasin kept on flopping because it wasn't laced up and it making a lot of noise. And my dad was giving him a hard time about his, not going to catch anything for making that much noise. So my dad took out an arrow, and my dad was a really good shot. He still was when we were kids, and taught me how to shoot a bow and arrow. And then while the heel was flopping down, he drove an arrow through this guy's back of shoe and nailed his shoe down to the ground. Well, about 20 minutes later, his friend tries to do the same shot.
Oh, no.
And my dad took an arrow through the leg.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect example. Well, they make that look so easy.
I bet I could do it. Bow.
Especially this close. How do you miss? Oh, shit, I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not fun.
Yeah.
Now, I love Elaine. And so let's be honest. Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve have had a knack when it comes to creating weaves. Like when they see somebody do it, they see it one time and then they're able to do it. Sometimes they're able to do it better.
Mhm.
So maybe this is
Agreed.
feeding the ego, and like, well, it's just the opposite. I saw her take it apart, like no big deal, right?
Yeah,
But big deal.
huge deal.
Yeah,
And
for
before
sure.
we go forward, I want to stop and give Elise her proper praise. We skimmed through it, but
Mhm.
this woman had the Terangrial situated and ready to go. She had the lords and ladies ready to move. She had the sea folk back
Mhm.
in order. And you're not still in the bowl. You're not going anywhere. You're here. Get through. Like, she made Elaine's job very easy. I wonder what her
Mhm.
position is going to be later on down the road in the book. Are we
Yes.
done with her now, or is she going to be vital to this group and Elaine in the near future? Because many of the queens of Andor always had some type of an Aes Sedai at their
Or like
side.
advisor.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're done with her. I don't
no,
know.
no,
I don't know in what
Mhm.
capacity we have her in the future, but there's no
Yeah.
way she taps out of this situation and goes, well, my job's here's done, and walks away. That ain't gonna happen.
HBIC.
there you go.
Yeah. So so Elaine, but says she's gonna do this. Everybody kind of protests, like, no, it's way too dangerous. But before anybody can really do too much protest, she picks one thread out. They're like, well, now you can't put it back. Like, once you start the process, there's no, like, you got to finish it now.
Yeah. And
Um,
I love Avienda gives her like not even the Cliff's notes. It's more watered down than that, but like the very important. Like,
right.
okay, like you got to look at it and you go for the one that's most obvious and
Mhm.
yada yada yada. And oh, by the way, they're really like slippery. You'll
If
know
you
what
wait
I'm.
too long, they
Yeah,
start to get slippery. Yeah.
yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about when you get there. But whatever you do, don't let go. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's just enough that if Elaine was really paying attention to the info she was getting, she probably should have realized she
A
fucked
few
up.
complex directions. A very
Yeah.
few complex
Like,
directions.
right. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, what do you, it's that uh-oh, what am I
Yeah.
doing?
Well, she
Yeah.
tells before Avienda does all that,
Yeah.
they tell everybody get out, like run, just get as far
That's
away as
smart.
possible.
Yeah.
And she even tells Avienda and Brigitte to do it too, but they stay behind because they're like, no, we're with you. We'll stay through the whole thing. And Elaine even thinks about that. Like, I guess if I die here, it's gonna be just as bad no matter where Brigitte is, so she might as well stay here. And Avienda's Avienda, so there's no telling her what to
Right.
do. She's like, no, I'm here.
Right.
And she's doing an okay job, but taking it slow. And then the Shan-Chan show up on the other side of the gateway
And immediately start blasting.
and immediately start blasting. Yeah, start shooting lightning through and crossbows.
And this is like,
Crossbows come through. Like, Bricky gets hit in the leg with a crossbow. I think Aviana gets hit too. Like, I mean, it's
that
bad.
scene, by the way, confused the heck out of me when I was listening to it, because it made it seem like they hadn't made it through the other side of the gate first before they started taking it apart. I got real confused, and then all of a sudden they were all down on the ground. I was like, what just happened? The way it made me feel as a reader, it made me feel like I was in the book in that moment with them. So Jordan did a really good job of writing it, and then our readers did a phenomenal job. How that's hilarious. The readers did a phenomenal job of getting that point across, like the confusion, the feeling of unease, kind of a rush tone. I really do enjoy listening, and then the way he writes, and so
yeah, and how serious and coordinated the Shan-Chan attack was. Because here's the thing, it's not that the Shan-Chan were underestimated. Elaine and Nynaeve and Brigitte, they knew what the Shan-Chan could do, right? That's why we're rushing. And they also knew they were coming. So you think even though Elaine was concentrating on untying this, they would be ready to defend themselves. But who got the first blow in? The Shan-Chan. Who got the second blow? The Shan-Chan. Who got the third blow? The Shan-Chan. They got lit up before they even got a chance to fight back and defend themselves.
Right.
Like Avienda was kind of a desperate retaliation, and like
throws the fireballs.
Fireballs were flying.
Brigitte went in and started firing arrows.
Right, but not immediately. They got hit first and hard.
Right.
And hard.
So
yeah.
This is a serious shit.
And they probably would have taken them out if it wasn't for the fact that they're barking need to be caught alive. These are women that could channel, do not kill them. Like on any cost, do not kill them. And that's probably the only thing that saved their lives was that order from the Soldoms saying that, like, capture them, don't kill them. And that kept the soldiers from just taking them all
Right.
out.
It was just overwhelming. So I agree. I was going to bring that up too, but
yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't like after everything I just said, I don't think it was that they were caught off guard. I
Mhm.
think the scary realization is that this attack from the Shan-Chan was just that good.
That well
Mhm.
coordinated.
It was that
Yeah.
well coordinated. It was
Yeah.
overwhelming. It was just like
Yeah.
everything at once hitting them. So that's a
If-
scary
If
thought.
Matt
for-
doesn't hurry up and marry a Shan-Chan queen so that Rand can bring her into the fold,
yes,
the Shan-Chan are going to take over.
yeah, you.
Okay.
Rand needs to realize these need to be friends, not enemies. And
Yeah.
I don't know what the path is to that, except for Matt. Like that's our best thought forward here. But
Yeah. Well,
Matt, hey, I got to step away for 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
all right.
Okay. Well, at this point, they realize that they have to, they have to leave. They just have to make a run for it, and
Yeah.
they get on the saddles on the horses backwards, so Ricky can still shoot, so Elaine can still focus on the holding.
She's holding it as long as she can. Yeah, she's not untying anymore. Because she got a hold of one, and then eventually got that slippery feeling, like Aviana mentioned,
right?
And she's like, "Oh shit, can't let go." So holds on as long as she can.
But then some demonic came through the gateway, and they spot her. And at this point, she's almost over the ridge, and she knows it's coming, and they throw a shield at her, which means she can't hold on anymore if she's shielded.
Yep.
And as soon as she gets
they did messed up.
So, yeah, as soon as they hit her with the shield, it's like a nuclear. I mean, it's described like a nuclear bomb going off, like the bright, like blinding light, like and just like
and like a shockwave. I mean, from the distance. It seemed like they were pretty far away, and still like the shock wave from it was immediate.
Right.
And if they hadn't landed just the way they did with a little bit of protection or whatever, they would have gotten annihilated from the distance.
Missing from them too. I mean, they were completely torn to pieces as well. And the one of the horses was dead. I mean, I think both of the horses were.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, massive carnage. And then of course the soldiers that were right next to the gateway. So no chance.
It makes me think of, you ever watch the YouTube videos of these morons that like there's a bonfire that's already kind of lit, but it's not going the way they want. So they start pouring gasoline on it from the other side.
I've never done that.
No, but have you seen the videos? Oh my God. Get on the YouTubes. Dumb people pouring gasoline on a fire.
I've done it.
Okay. I was about to say, I thought for like legal reasons you were in denial. So I was going to co-sign and be like, yeah, I've never seen you do that, Alan. But anyways, it's like, it's fine. And then enough of it turns to a gas and it all ignites at once. And
yeah, exactly.
That's kind of the scene I had in my head. It's like, I got it.
Yeah. Or like we used to do in I guess when we were really little at Scouts, is like we'd all be hanging out at the campfire, and I was always the kid that would go and find the scout leaders stash of lighters, casually throw it in the fire.
Yes, when the lighters blow up. Yeah,
so it's a ticking time bomb.
Especially if they had the cheaper ones that you could like see through and see the amount of fluid in there. Those went off a lot better than the thick Bics.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like a huge explosion, but it was just like it doesn't go off right away. It has to melt through first. So you throw it in,
to scare the crap out of people.
And boom.
I was worse. I would get the small river rocks and put them in the fire.
Yeah, that's really too.
That's like shrapnel going everywhere when the water heats up. Anyways.
Yeah, or just throw a firework in there, see what happens.
Yeah. So big boom boom. This wasn't a small boom boom.
This was a big boom boom.
Big boom boom.
Yeah. And obviously they're all laying on the ground afterwards. Brigitte and Avienda have been hit by arrows. They're torn to pieces, but they're able to get up, and they realize the horses are dead.
Dunsky.
And Elaine, has enough, even head ringing, torn to pieces, gets up and climbs to the top of the ridge to look back down just to see, if there's anybody still down there. And there's nothing. It's just black scorched earth, like nothing. Like
Alan, so this part I know you've seen. The video and picture aftermath of that part of Russia that got blasted by the meteor.
Yeah, back in the 70s or
Right.
80s. Something
So
like that.
this is what I thought of. She looks over the ridge and everything's just whatever there
Demolished.
might have been left is just busted over and burnt. And yeah, that's the mental image I got here. Peek over,
Yeah.
Russia getting hit with a massive meteor.
Yeah. And then you have a nice little sweet moment where Elaine turns to Avi and says, "I never want to risk these. You know, we need to be first sisters.
Yep. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you. I love you
Let's
too."
get it on.
And Brigitte's in the corner like, "I love both you guys too."
So, okay, at this moment, and I could be way off, but so Min's viewing was that he would love 3 women, but
Mhm.
does Min know for certain in viewing it that she's the blonde, or could Brigitte be the blonde?
No. Min has already locked that down.
For her, but from Rand's perspective, is that love?
Yeah.
I want to know what love is.
All right, well, we'll see. Probably.
I mean,
it probably is
Brigitte-
Min, but
Brigitte is like an adjacent. She's in
she's
love
like a
adjacent.
Yeah. And she's into the ugly
she's a
guys
she's a
anyway.
jump off.
She's already sworn to
She gets to feel
Idle
everything
Kane.
Elaine feels.
I don't see, well, that's true. I don't see her getting it on with Rand, but I feel like if Avienda and being that she's bonded with Elaine, if Avienda and Elaine have a moment, Brigitte is gonna be involved even if she's 2 buildings over. You know what I'm saying? she's getting a little bit of that.
I mean, Min's viewing is specifically about herself sharing him.
Right.
I mean, the way that Alan keeps saying, huh, yeah, sure, makes you think, but I'm sick and hoping now.
And the vision is that 3 women would love Rand, not that he would love them back.
That's true.
Fair. That's fair. Also, that now that we're quoting Hal apparently, who was in our chat, is a smart aleck, and he goes, "Good thing they weren't in the middle of Camelin, huh?" After this massive explosion. Well, listen here, Hal. First of all, good insight, great comment, but I don't appreciate it. Kind of hurt my feelings here, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna cry a little bit.
So
it's good stuff. Good thing they were not in the middle of Camelin.
Yeah. The scene ends with Elaine and Nynaeve coming back for them, and then we switch over to one of the Rockin' Riders, Chulin, who's riding the Rockin' above the farm, the Kin's farm, and it looks like no one's down there at all. And they're talking about how there's reports that there's so many of Marath Dramane, the unleashed ones, and that this area there's gonna get so much more power from this area because you're gonna unleash everyone. And,
they're like,
this will be great.
What are you gonna do with your riches? I'm gonna buy this farm.
Right. It talks about that, like how some writers talk about like leaving, but the fact of the matter is, like, most writers never, once they get a taste for flying, they don't.
Yeah. Or they just never make it to leave.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, and she feels a little uneasy about something, and all of a sudden they get hit by the shockwave. Yeah.
So that begs the question: can she feel the power? And if she can, is she an unleashed?
Yeah,
we know that all the ones
we already know the Soul Doms are.
Yeah, we know that, but does she not know that she is technically a Soul Dom?
Can I get a quick fact check, Chris? I probably listened to this wrong. I thought this person flying around, it wasn't that they got hit with the shockwave. I thought this was the one that initially came in, the scout, that everybody shot fire at, and then she like dipped behind the mountain, and this was before they.
That wasn't fire. It was a very heavy gust of wind, is how it's described.
So that was probably the shockwave then. Okay,
yeah.
So I did.
But she felt something prior to anything happening. So again, and
felt uneasy.
She felt uneasy, so she felt the channeling. She felt the channeling. So that means she's probably got capabilities herself.
Yeah.
And that makes me wonder how many of these Shan Chen women could actually channel. Maybe they all can channel and don't know it.
You're likely onto something, but if that's the case, then I have magical powers as well.
Mhm.
Because I have
Your beard grows so quick.
I have certainly felt shit about to go down before it did. I have ducked from a blindside punch coming from behind me before.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that inkling a split second before.
I get that. I agree.
For all of you young kids out there, before we had cell phones, we used to have like home phones, and the amount of times you'd pick up the phone to call someone and they're on the other line because they had just called you.
Yeah.
Scary. It doesn't happen anymore because you
Yeah.
have cell phones now. But back in the day, like literally, you go pick up your house phone to call someone. You'd actually take it off, then dial the number,
Right.
and you pick it up, and like there would be the dial tone, and like hello, I was like, hey,
And you're
hey,
already connected to them.
I was just about to call you.
Yep. And Zool, I hear you, but in my mind, some people are missed because their powers are latent.
Mhm.
So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, the interconnected. What was it? All right, I'm gonna have to look up this experiment.
All right, we got somebody co-signing in chat that was real. That's funny that you say that, Alan, because in the cell phone world, I don't really run into that.
Yeah, I don't either in the cell phone
Every
world,
now and then.
But in the real phone world, there were a couple times of like it doesn't ring. It's just 30 there. They're like, and I'm like, hello. They're like, hello. Was I calling you? I was about to call you. That's crazy.
So it was the 100th monkey effect. So this is what I was going to talk about, and they think it happens with all species, but it was what they would do was it was in the 50s. They did this experiment where they'd have monkeys that were isolated on different islands, and they would once they trained enough monkeys to teach them how to do something, the same species, it would without ever learning, they would automatically start learning this new way of doing things on a different island, never contacting the other monkeys. It was just like once you have enough of a hive mind, it
can spread without direct interaction.
Yeah, and it's from experiment that was done in the 50s and then also in the 70s. So you can look it up online. In the 80s again. There is some criticism about it, whether it actually worked or not, but there's entire scientific period. So take it for what it is. But it might actually be a real thing. I don't know. Yeah.
Good pick up though, because I didn't even catch what you were saying, Chris. How she felt it right before she felt it, like she felt it before it hit her, sort of thing.
So then the rocket starts to spiral down out of control, and she realizes don't touch anything because the animal will pull itself out if it can. You'll just hinder it if you try to control it.
Smart,
and sure enough, right before it hits the ground, it spreads its wings out and goes up, and she turns back to I guess her co-pilot to Goose back there. I was like, man, Goose. And it's just the safety straps just flap in the wind. And yeah.
Was that your idea to bring up the Goose reference?
Yeah, it was my idea.
I don't think I've ever ran into anybody talking about the moment Goose died with a smile on their face.
That was just a good reference. It's not,
but poor delivery. Poor delivery. Great balls of fire, Alan. Jesus.
Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire.
That's fucked up. I mean, I first watched that shit 30 years ago, and still like that too soon.
Too soon. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I failed. I'm a little under the weather, so everything's just funny to me right now.
But that is funny.
So Goose. So yeah, Chilling escapes death. And it ends the chapter with her thinking like, whatever power that was that just got unleashed, if that's this is something more powerful than we could ever imagine. Like we're in trouble.
Right.
So
it might be good though if like both sides have a healthy fear of each other. It might, because right now, if all the Shan-Chan went against all of the channelers that are in this area, and even if Rand could somehow get the Ashaman involved or whatever, I can't say for like I feel like all the female channelers that are around and the kinfolk and all that jazz, I feel like they could hold their own. They'd probably have an edge if Rand was chiming in, right? And the Ashaman were involved, but I can't swear that they would win.
Right.
It would be a really nasty battle if they all just went at it right now.
Oh yeah.
It'd be bad.
Yeah.
So I don't want that. So a little healthy fear, some mutually assured destruction.
I honestly
Maybe.
don't think it would be that bad.
Well, but who would win?
Shan.
Oh,
I mean, it would
okay.
be bad for our characters, but it wouldn't be that bad of a battle.
It'd be
Our
fast.
characters are so all over the place. They're so split up. Like, there's no unity here. Like, Rand's
Right.
failing in what he's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Even his own groups are all disorganized and disheveled. Like,
Yeah.
the Shanshan would put a quick order to all of this, and they would have a greater chance of beating the Dark One in this current moment.
Right. But to your point, specifically because of their, I mean, there's probably infighting there, but there's some cohesion, there's discipline, there's a little more order.
Yeah,
in how
because their infighting is based on their hierarchical system.
Right.
Like, they're an established empire.
Yep.
Versus Rand's many kingdoms that he can't keep his eyes on.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Anything from this chapter before we move to the next one?
Well, you wrap me up the way you wrapped that dog up. It was so loving.
He got a haircut not that long ago, so when the air conditioning's on, he starts shivering. He's got it. He's got the shakes.
Little
right
puppers.
That's so loving. They're so cute.
He's a little punk. I like him.
You guys ready? You guys ready for chapter 7?
Yes.
A goat pin.
Sure.
And the chapter icon's a wolf, so I know you got.
Yeah, that's why Raz showed up. He's like, "Yay!
Yeah, we got wolfies.
That's about my people."
That's funny. He did show up right in time.
Chris is excited.
Yes. This is the beginning of the book, because the rest of the book is going to be all about Perrin.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So Perrin's overlooking this little small town in Gillidan. He's been sent by Rand, of course, to try to get the Prophet under wraps, and that's his job. That's his quest. And he has a whole plan that they've discussed about going about it. They don't want to trigger violence, so they want to be able to, kind of seed sow some seeds first, get everything kind of underway and politic it the right way.
I'm gonna sow some seeds. You're not gonna hear any Matt this book.
Matt who?
Exactly.
I thought people were just messing with us last week. A couple of people said Matt who. Somebody said it this week, but now I think you're right, Chris. I think they were letting us know that
no, Matt.
We're not getting back to Matt.
Stuck under that pile of rubble for the whole book.
That's so messed up. But there's a story waiting to be told, because I mean, like we said, Tom's there, Julian's there. Like, somebody go help them.
Somebody help them, please.
On to the best characters. So Perrin's chilling in Gillidan. He's trying to figure out his next move. He's playing chess while
he is. Yeah. He is. Yeah. And he has his envoy that he has with Fail Barallon, and a couple Aes Sedai, I think, as well. His little entourage, and he's walking to this town. Everyone's on edge of the town. Apparently there's been a little bit of a fighting between the Prophet's brigands and the White Cloak patrols. And everyone's a little uneasy, and there's lots of tension, especially with newcomers.
And everybody's biting in this group to be the ones to go as the envoy.
Right.
And they're all giving their really good reasons why it should be them.
Mm-hmm.
And Perrin's thinking to himself, why did I get stuck in this crap?
Yeah.
And Fael smells great right now. And
he's the most reluctant.
I don't want to be doing this.
Of all the characters, he's the most reluctant. He's like, God, why I just keep getting put in these situations that it's like everybody else wants to be in these situations. Everybody around me is like, ooh, me. And he's sitting here going, not me. Like, why does it? Please, not me.
Person. I really, I understand this. And I'm sure you both have been in the exact same position and probably feel the same way. None of us really want leadership. It's just that when
we end up there,
the fans, they're like, who looks like they're going to be the best leader in this group?
Yeah.
That guy.
It's probably because when things are going crazy, they're like, oh, Ian looks really calm. He must have things figured out. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm sitting there going, if we die, we die.
It is what it is.
I made my peace with God many years ago. I am
turned-
all right.
They turned to
Maybe that-
Ian. They're like, Ian, what you doing? He was like, Leroy Jenkins.
I say we sail out into the storm. They're like, that just doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, but it'd be fun.
I think that maybe that's the switch. Like the moment you kind of had that epiphany moment, that aha thought, like it's just gonna be what it's gonna be, and I made my peace.
Yeah.
Then you become a natural leader because at that point you have nothing to lose. You have
Well,
everything in the world to gain.
You're not afraid that much anymore. You know,
No.
you just put the left foot in front of the right foot, and then the right foot in front of the left foot, and keep
on
keep moving.
that serious note, when I was 12 and I had, attempted suicide, I had like thoughts not long after of like, that was stupid. And why did I do that?
Yeah.
And what did I have to gain from that? And what did I have to lose? And if I'm a Christian, which I am, I have this thought of eternity. And one of the rules is you can't kill yourself. I almost lost the one thing I have going for me. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to let this life be and just coast through it. And who knows how long I'm going to have to live, but I'm going to be here. And since I'm going to be here, then I'll just get shit done.
Yeah.
And it was really at that point where I was like, all right, well. And then people start thinking, well, he'd make a great leader.
Yeah. I've said in the past a couple of times, like, making peace with your death, with that inevitable outcome of living. But the flip side of that, and what you also have to do is, make peace with life and living, which I don't talk about as much. That's the inevitable next step. Like once you accept that death will come, it's going to happen. I'm not afraid of it. Then you don't have to think about that anymore. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to fear it. And now you focus on the living portion.
Life before death.
So then you're just making the best of whatever situation you're in.
Before weakness.
Yeah.
Journey before destination.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah. That too. That works. While all this is happening, this setup, they I guess the Aes Sedai sees a streak go across the sky. I mean, Perrin would have been able to see this because he can't channel, but sees, the one power streak across the sky, and they mention it and talk about it, and they're kind of,
and it goes everywhere.
And it's the male and the female power. So of course their
right.
minds are like, that must be the power of
the Forsaken. Yeah, who else could be using it together?
Which again, communication is definitely the best here in this book. Like everybody talks to everybody lets everybody know. But in my mind, like I want to say, poor communication. But then the other thing is, how would they have communicated it? Nobody knew what the Bola Winds was going to do.
Right.
So now they're worried for no reason.
Yeah.
Or
what Rand thought when that happened.
Or maybe they are worried for good reason.
Could be. We don't know what the Bola
Remember, we still the male channeling portion into that, and we're trusting these Angreal that they were holding that Elaine found. I mean, there's so many angles where things could have gone wrong when they meant for it to go right.
Yeah.
Maybe they should be afraid.
I really wonder what Rand felt in that moment.
Winter is coming.
It is.
Yeah. So they also got some rumors. Parents heard that Niall, Pedro Niall's dead. That the White Cloaks, there's something going on there as well, but doesn't know what to think about that information. So he starts to kind of plan out a plan. He's like, all right, we're going to send Barrelane, her Aes Sedai advisor, and the captain or the commander of the Wing Guard for Barrelane off to see the Queen. That's going to be step one, because that way we can get the politics going that way. And Barrelane, of course, is all snooty about it. Like, yeah, he picked me.
I'm the winner.
Yeah. And Fail doesn't get angry until a parent apologizes for not picking her. And he's like, what is that supposed to mean?
That man can't win. He just needs to stop talking to her. Let her start the conversation always.
Perrin, your best chance is to not try. If you try, you're going to be wrong.
I've been in that relationship. That relationship sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never again. Now I open my mouth. If you don't like what the fuck I have to say, excuse my language. You can mark this one rated R. If you don't like what I have to say, too bad. Do something about it.
Yeah. So everyone leaves in their different directions. The envoy leaves, and they go back to their camp to wait. On the way back, Aaron points out that there's a group of, brigands that were attacking a group of travelers, and Perrin immediately feels like he needs to intervene.
Was it travelers or people on the wall? Did I read that wrong? I think I read that wrong.
The Night's Watch?
That's what I thought about almost instantly. Therefore, I wore the shirt.
Yeah, Perrin interviews with the help of Edra.
Oh well, it doesn't matter. You're right.
Yeah.
I think
They were basically innocent people that, got their butts whooped because the fanatics.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Alan, way back in the day when they left the mountain?
Mm-hmm.
And it was right when they were chasing Rand and everybody was getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And we first started talking about Massima, and you were like, you guys, how do you think this is going to turn out? And Chris and I were like, the fanatics, those are the ones you got to worry about. They're the ones they take this little taste of truth and what little bit they know, and they run in the wrong direction with it, and they butcher it.
Yeah,
and that's 100% coming true.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Perrin runs in there and is not taking shit from anybody. He's like, listen, if anybody does anything like this, even smells wrong, like I'm going to you're going to hang all of you. Hang him, just hang them all. And he says he's done with it. He's just like, yeah.
What is this leather thing they have that have like all these knots tied on it? Was that like
knots? They were ears, bro.
Ears.
It was okay.
They were ears.
They were okay. Like
now you understand. They were trophies.
Okay.
They were ears.
For whatever reason, I was thinking it was like
so it says a dozen or more roughly clad fellows carrying spears and pitchforks were trying to force the way over the chest-high stone wall of a goat pen. So literally, they had them pinned. These travelers pinned into a goat pen, and they were trying to force their way in. And like, Perrin and crew ride down on them. They start to like scatter, and one gets left behind, and after like the clap of like thunder from an Aiel, and that was it was a whole
from the wise one,
from the wise one. Thank you. It was a whole just like buckled thing of ears, and that's what really set Perrin off. That was my favorite moment. I was like, y'all really messed up now, because he was ready to just like let the guy go. He was gonna follow his original plan. Like I'm not gonna tell him who I am. I'm just gonna be like, hey, we'll take this from here. It's good. No, and then he saw those ears, and he was like, "Oh, so this is the tomfoolery that y'all are messing with." I got like, okay, Lord Perrin came out instantly.
Oh, you're following the Dragon Reborn, huh? Well, I'm here on his specific orders. I am
Lord Perrin Ibarra.
You tell everybody that I am here, and I'm looking to talk to him. Yeah. So he's not hiding anymore.
Yeah. And he tells me to go back to Massima and tell him that I'm here, like that I'm here on behalf of Rand, and we need to talk about what's going on here.
That was
this right here.
Yeah, but by the way, if I hear about any of this, or even if you just laugh at somebody that's doing this, if you look in the wrong direction or you're too close to somebody that's doing this, I'ma just bash you with a hammer.
I could tie that to you, you'd hang from the nearest tree. Oh, that moment like sent chills down my spine. Your precious Lord Dragon sent me here. You spread the word. He sent me.
Yeah. And did you notice the little group that they ran into? Who was in that group?
Oh yeah, that's why I sent you that text message.
Yeah.
So literally, I giggled because I went forward, guys, and I looked at the name of the next chapter, because it was like the last sentence of the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
A simple country woman.
Yeah, Lenny and Magden.
Yeah.
How that?
Perfect is this? I'm sorry. This is one of the moments where I really do wish, and I think this next chapter is going to happen. I wish people would just like, when they recognize a person that could be a potential friend, they need to go ahead and speak up. Because here we have but
every potential friend could be a potential enemy, a big enemy too.
Yeah, but not this one. Very Taviran. I agree. This is a Taviran moment. Baron moment.
Taviran.
And I mean, to be real, it's not going to change his course of action.
Mm-mm.
But can any of the people with him open up gates? Or what are the words that we
Gateways?
actually
I don't think so.
gateways?
Travel or anything
Travel.
like
Can any of them travel?
I don't
So
think
it
so.
really doesn't change the plan. But maybe he sends a couple of the wise ones off with them and get them to safety. Maybe he
that? Or talk with other wise ones in dreams
Yeah.
and find a way to send the message. Yeah.
Yeah, to Rand, and then Rand shoots in there and picks her up and takes her home. And though she kind of gave up her
Right.
kingdom, she could at least play that role that Rand really needs, which is somebody to get
Right.
Andor back in line.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I have
Yeah.
hope, but I know it's not going to happen. I have
Mhm.
hope.
You could like as the readers were seeing all this, we could take it.
There we
and
go. He has Ashima with him, doesn't he? The Ashima can travel.
Probably. I mean, most of them, a lot of them were taught. Those that could be
Yeah.
taught,
Yeah.
were taught, right? So
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
had to have gotten there somehow. So he didn't get there with Rand's help, so he got there with the Ashman's help. It's coming back to me
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
So we need to send her back. Like
Yeah.
she needs to fess up. We need to send her where she belongs.
But that's
But she doesn't really know who Perrin is. So does she trust Perrin enough?
Didn't she meet Perrin way back when?
I don't
And
know if
like
she's met Perrin.
she met Rand.
Maybe she did.
Rand was the
Rand,
only.
but that was,
You're
that
right.
was
She
when
met
Rand was
Rand
there.
and Matt,
Rand
but she
was the-
didn't meet Perrin.
But Perrin and
I don't
Egwene
even
were
think he
captured
met-
by White Cloaks during that
That's
time.
Yeah.
right.
Yep. So their
Oh,
stories
that
didn't overlap yet.
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks big time.
But that's
Yeah.
that. So I'm never a proponent of like anxiety, as like a entertainment feature. But the anxiety that you feel as a reader, it's kind of what reels you in. Like what you were saying, Chris, we could easily connect the dots and say, if this person did this and this person did this and that person talked to that person, like this would all come together really quickly. But also, like you said, well, one, we know they suck at communicating and they don't have great means of communication. And you're assuming that very quickly a meeting, they recognize each other's importance, and like they prioritize like communicating. It's not going to happen.
Right.
But
I don't know. I got a
it
good
could.
feeling
So
about
we're
this
like,
next chapter. I got a good
please.
feeling about this next chapter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and someone in chat said, she probably recognized the Red Eagle banner of Manetheren. But if you remember, when she left Camelin, she had heard rumors of people rebelling against her kingdom out
Right.
and rising the Manetheren banner. So
And
that
the
would not
people
that would
from-
not ease her at all. Like
People from the
that,
Two Rivers, even she was the one. She's even mentioned. She's like, oh, yeah. I mean, they're part of the kingdom, but
Yeah. But see, a good queen recognizes.
But if
good
they're the
help.
rebels of her, like, would she want to admit that?
But
Like,
a good queen recognizes a good person, and she
sure.
saw what he
Mhm.
did in that moment. And I think this,
Yeah.
again, she sits there and she's like, "Hey guys, we're gonna go with them. We're gonna stay with them for a couple of days." Like that's how this chapter ends. Is
Mhm.
her telling Leanie and everybody like, "We don't want
Yeah.
to travel alone. We're gonna travel with him." She's gonna test him. She's gonna see exactly where his loyalties lie, and
Mhm.
I think that we're gonna see her kind of give up that important information.
she
Right.
just invested a lot of time working
Oh, Hal,
and
that's
smoothing
cold.
over with
She didn't
Pedro
recognize any
Nile.
good in Gabriel. The only thing she recognized from Gabriel is that D.
Oh, but no. Think about how much time she just invested trying to work over Pedro Nile and like slowly realizing like, okay, maybe he's a decent guy and we can
Right.
make this work. Da da da. And what happened to Pedro Nile?
Dead.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
and at the very end, I guess Perrin also did recognize two of the other people. He recognized Langwin, and the Kyriana girl from when they were in Kyrian at the big house party, Days Tomorrow, and then Langwin was I guess Basil Gill. Basil Gill's with them too. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he would have recognized those.
That's
guys,
true.
so.
Because he was the innkeeper
Yeah, he was the innkeeper in Camelin
at the Queen's blessing.
Right.
So I think we're gonna. I have a
Okay.
great feeling. I have hope.
There's enough
have
there now,
hope.
Chris. This could all come together.
I have hope.
Someone's got to have an aha moment and say it out
I
loud.
think like finally she's gonna get returned home and Rand's gonna get cleared of that charge and more people. I mean, we gotta have a feel good moment about Rand eventually. This
What
would
if
be a
we're
great moment.
what if we're about to get there and then Messina kills Morghese?
Bruh.
Womp, womp, womp.
No, I still have faith. No,
Messina is going to do something drastic,
he is,
and he's going to
gonna do
kill the
something
wrong person.
stupid.
Remember what we talked about with these fanatics. They
know.
they go so far. They go so far that even if Rand himself showed up and tried to say this isn't what I want, they would fight him because they would say, "Well, you're not the real dragon. I met the dragon. It's somebody else." Like eventually, these fanatics go too far, and I think Messina's had enough time to go too far.
I mean, Messina could be the Dragon Reborn for all we know.
Maybe that's what he's starting to tell people. You know, who knows? I don't. Anyways, bad things are coming.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's how we end this chapter. So, yeah, with them going back to camp and Perrin recognizing, but they're trying to hide, and that's the end.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts about badass leader Perrin laying down the gauntlet? Saying,
I love it. I'm so excited. I hope this. Really messed with my mind if this was the only Perrin chapter in this book.
I was about to say, I hope we stick with Perrin for a little while. I hope we get some more because there's
I
so
know
much
it's not
room
because the
for
next
some storytelling
chapter
here.
is what it is, but I could see like 2 chapters happening and then no more Perrin for a while. Because you know who else we haven't heard from in forever?
Matt.
Well, yeah,
Who?
but
Who?
Egwene.
I ain't worried about Egwene so much. She's living it up right now. But
Wifey.
where's our friend Loyal?
Loyal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was headed to a setting the last time we talked to him, right?
Yeah, and he's finally starting to decide that this marriage thing maybe ain't too bad.
Yeah,
he's like, well, you picked 2
wedding.
for me? Oh, her? Oh, well, actually, she was quite handsome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Maybe
she
it's
liked
not so
listening
bad.
to my stories.
Yeah.
She pet my ears like a Ferengi and be delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Any thoughts from this chapter anymore?
No, I'm excited. Now
we haven't seen him in a while. It will be Bail Dolman.
Yeah, poor Bale. He took off.
Yeah, he took off.
He left.
Yeah, he left. He sailed off to sea.
He is done. He's staying where it's safe.
Yeah,
Bale ain't no dummy.
I don't blame him.
Bale was like the dark ones ain't coming out here.
So next time on the Will Reads, we'll be doing 2 chapters again. A Simple Country Woman and Tangles.
An entanglement?
Tangles.
I get this all the time. It takes like good shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah.
And then I can put a brush and comb right through it. But
yeah. And then it's not choices. So chapter 10, I think we're gonna do a live reading for that one. Live reaction, if that works for everybody.
What is it called?
It's called Changes. It's not choices, it's just changes.
Changes.
That's when we find out that Avienda's body is changing.
Okay.
Yeah, the dark one can't swim.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Wow.
There are records being set right now in swimming.
Hey, not last Olympics, but the one before that, the women's 100-meter freestyle. And I think the Forger free relay. Let me tell you how awesome that was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. So favorite characters.
I'll let you go first. Do you have one? I don't really have like.
I don't have one in the hopper.
Like I
never really got. I didn't get behind any one character so much as it's kind of like what I mentioned. We're at this very anxious point of so much is happening and so much could happen, and I'm a fan of the story.
Farstrider, you're probably right.
Yeah, Farstrider says Ian looks like he doesn't have any clothes on his bottom half.
With the dog in my lap. That's Don't lick me. Stop. He was great timing, Rez. I have shorts on. Sorry.
This podcast is going way downhill.
Were we ever up? We started out with 69.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
I could give shout outs to a couple characters.
Okay.
But I'll
Perrin
have
is
to
the
wind up
easy
with
one for me.
right. Perrin.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it because I knew you might want to, but I do like Perrin had a plan. But once he saw that ridiculousness happen, like I love
Justice.
that. I love that Perrin will always break character
Mhm.
to defend those that need defending.
Ooh, that's like a quote from a book that I'm reading.
Mhm.
Justice.
Okay. I'll probably get there tomorrow on my commute.
I'll get the call from Ian tomorrow. Holy crap!
Holy crap!
Yep.
So, all right, favorite character. I'm gonna give it this go around to Elise, just because.
Oh,
and
that's what I was gonna
Egwene.
pick. Okay.
Oh, you were Elise?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll go with Egwene. Like
I'll go Perrin then. Yeah.
Like I was honestly at a toss up between the three of those. Perrin had that moment, but I expect that of Perrin.
Right. It wasn't out of
Elise-
character. Yeah.
Yeah, and Elise, that's her job. Like she's used to doing that, but she didn't just take charge of her farm. She took charge of everyone, and everyone listened, and everything happened nicely. Like it was a smooth transition up until the last minute. And I have to give it, now that I'm overthinking it a little bit, I'll give it to Elaine because she made the decision that she would rather risk her life than give them traveling. Because if the Shan learned how to travel,
trouble.
and we don't even know that they don't. This is an assumption,
right?
Because they haven't used it.
Right.
But if they learn how to do it, it would be over with in no time.
Well, then they don't have to sail across the giant ocean to get there. They can just pop all over.
And that's what I'm saying. It would be over with. Well, they still have to know where they're going. They have to see the place. So
they have to know where they are.
Oh,
yeah. I want to give a nod to Avienda and Brigitte also.
Oh yeah.
For staying with Elaine in that moment. Now Brigitte, with the bonding and everything, you can make that excuse, whatever. But they knew what they were signing up for, and just because they survived didn't mean that. I mean, they all knew when they were riding off, and Elaine was holding on for dear life to that last thread. Like shit was about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
But they stuck by her. So you gotta give them some props for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, and Brigitte, when she was letting the arrows fly.
Oh yeah,
it had happened so quick, but how badass was that?
And she was getting hit, taking them left and right. So
she was getting hit and kept the arrows flying. Okay, so yeah, maybe she's my favorite character. Yeah. I'll take that.
Yeah. So next week on the Wheel of Reads, we'll be doing, like I said, there's 2 chapters. We will have a guest next week as well.
Ooh.
So
yeah, he's gonna be on.
Ian's favorite commenter in our comment, our good old the book we're covering, Hal, that you're going to be on doing is
Hal?
Hal's going to be on.
Hal, I've got some beef with you, buddy. Making smart alecky comments tonight.
He's one of our patrons, so yeah, he's going to come on and
that's cool.
At least I think so. Are you still coming on, Hal?
Hal's like,
wait, what? I think that's next week, right? Wasn't it next week we said?
Did Alan mess up the spreadsheets? Did we finally find an error in the spreadsheets?
He did in the last 5 days, tipping in the bottle a little bit heavy.
Yeah, no,
it's true.
Hal's no longer talking to us. Oh no, he's right. Okay,
yeah, he's right. Of course he's right. I was like, yeah, of course.
Well, I'm excited to have Hal on.
Spreadsheets don't lie. So, chapters 8 and 10, or 8 and 9. I skipped 9. We're gonna live react to 10. Anyway, 8 and 9. So yeah, now since I'm not drinking, I'm losing my completely train of thought. I'm gonna wrap up with find us at thewillofreads.com. It's where you can find all our cool links to stuff like our Discord, our social medias, and you can email us at thewillofreads at Gmail. Also, you can buy merchandise like a cool Team Pater shirt that apparently glows like really bright under ring lights. So yeah, buy some merch, join our Patreon, support us in different ways, and yeah, that's.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Allie for her being involved
Yeah,
with
congrats.
Rugrats. Like that's super dope.
Yeah, that's so.
That's
So
a
if
cool
you guys
show to
don't
write
listen
for.
to the Wheel Takes, Allie from the Wheel Takes podcast, she's actually a writer as well, and she actually wrote an episode for the I guess the reboot of Rugrats season 2. She's a whole episode that's going to be aired or be filmed or whatever.
That's awesome.
So-
Maybe we'll do a watch party.
We'll do a watch party
Yeah,
for the
that'd be
for
great.
Rugrats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so it's so exciting there. But yeah, so that's all I got for this week, guys.
Until next time.
Peace.
Okay, bye.
So how does the Cosmere read say bye?